Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. Can't say I saw this coming after Friday night. You win 13-2. The offense is at an all-time high, and then you just don't know how to get a hit with runners in scoring position. Holy hell. And of course, we got to now incorporate the fact that an umpire behind the plate sucks! And ruins what it could have been a nice comeback victory. Bryce Harper would have been up, and there would have been bases loaded, and I bet your ass it would have been awesome. And then, of course, later on, Bryce Harper gets a taste of poor umpiring, too, and he gets rung up with something on the outside part of the plate. First off, the Bohm one, it wasn't even close. You actually had others try to make a claim that he had to protect. It was too close with 2 strikes. No, it wasn't. It actually, quite frankly, wasn't even sniffing the strike zone. That was hot garbage, okay? And then with Bryce, sure, it was closer, but it doesn't matter how close it is. It was a ball, okay? Bryce Harper, we could imagine that he understands the strike zone. I think he's got a good feel of the plate. Is that a fair estimate? Is that like a fair thing to say? Because I think so. In what world can you be that awful at your job and still get a paycheck? There was actually a clip of David Ross ripping him into shreds, saying, you finally get a call-up. You finally get your name called. And this is what you're providing for us? Like, freaking the hell out. It wasn't nearly as pathetic as whatever I just said. But he got into his grill and he was pointing a finger in his face. And it's totally unacceptable. Well, fast forward to today, and nothing has changed. He's still totally unacceptable when it comes to being an umpire in this league. But what the hell, man? Your offense completely died. You lose 8-1 in Game 2. Taijuan Walker walked 6 guys in 5 innings. He threw over 90 pitches in 5 innings. Unacceptable from him. Couple home runs, so the ball was leaving the ballpark. And now we already have Rob Thompson saying that we got to find some time and be able to get him some rest and see what we can do with the rotation. All right. What killed Taijuan Walker earlier in the season is exactly what he did in his last start. He allowed too many base runners by giving them a free pass. It's crazy. You will never win that way. It doesn't help when Soto sucks and Marte sucks. Excuse me. I just had a Coke, so, there was a little bit of like a half burp, but not really. What are you going to do? Elise Turner, though, in that 8-1 loss, went 3 for 3 in a walk, so he was on base 4 times. He extends the hitting streak in the final game of this series, so, he's definitely lethal again. That is nice. But what sucks is I'm not feeling great anymore. If I did a show Friday night after that beatdown, I would have been insufferable, and I kind of wish I did because I lost all the mojo. I took a screenshot of what that second inning was like. Christopher Sanchez, okay? First things first, he allows 2 home runs back-to-back, and I saw Twitter hit the nervous button. Oh, no, Christopher Sanchez, he's gonna hit reality. Reality is the guy's a dog. Reality is Christopher Sanchez is unreal, and don't you ever doubt that man again. All he knows is I am gonna put this team in a position to win. And their squad, like their teammates, his teammates, they knew that. Hence why after the second inning happened for the Twins, here's your second inning, bottom half of the second inning for your Phils facing Dallas Keuchel. Nick Castellanos leads things off with a double. And I'm going to read this almost like it's a bedtime story to you all. So I'm tucking you into bed. All right, we're going to try and fall asleep with good thoughts, good Phillies baseball thoughts on the brain. I'm going to have to practice, right? In about 4 months, my wife's going to be popping out Brooklyn. That's right, we went with Brooklyn. Brooklyn Brody. Brooklyn Ray Brody. I think it just flows nice. She's going to kick some ass and be tough. I can't wait. Okay, so this is me practicing. I'm pretending you're my daughter. I'm practicing to try and get you to fall asleep thinking happy thoughts with the Phillies red pinstripes. Hey, Brooklyn, remember that second inning? Okay, Nick Castellanos leads things off with the double, followed by Bryson Stott, who doubled into the center gap. Now it's 2-1. Real Muto singles, which scores a run 2-2. The way they did this is just unconventional. String together hits. It wasn't the long ball. It wasn't all about the power. It wasn't 4 or 5 home runs. It was strictly, they ended up hitting home runs later on. Stott and JT go back to back, so it definitely did start to creep in. But for the comeback and for the huge haymaker, it was this weird thing that they call small ball. After that, Wilson walked. Sosa was hit by a pitch. Rojas grounded into a double play, but it's grounded into a fielder's choice. But you score a run, 3-2. Schwarber singles, 4-2. Bone gets a sac fly, 5-2. Turner singles, it's 6-2. I can't believe it. I don't know what I'm watching. Castellanos singles before Stott flies out, and it ends up being the end of the inning. So you go around your batting order, and you see something that you're just not accustomed to seeing. This style of baseball is sensational. Can you win in multiple different ways? If you're not hitting scorching lasers over the wall, can you build momentum offensively? Look, it's not a way to succeed every single night, but if it's in your bag and it needs to pop off at least once in a while to keep a string of wins together happening, well, then you sign on the dotted lines for it, and I think we saw that in this first game, but it just ends up meaning nothing by the end because you score 0 runs in Game 3. You score a useless, non-existent run, really, in your 8-1 loss. So what do you do with this? You got to win a series next. That's what needs to happen. All right, I won't make over wildly massive claims because of this series because, well, if they answer with a series win against, I'm looking at their schedule to see what exactly is fully upcoming here. What's today's date already? Oh, we have the 2 games set against the Blue Jays with an off day on Monday. So you have 2 games against Toronto in Toronto. It's a weird spot to be in because you're going on the road, and if you split the series because it's a 2-game set, you're not uberly aggressive, I don't think, right? You don't despise them crazily. Of course, context will matter. If you're up 7-0 in Game 2 after you win Game 1 and then you lose 8-7, or you pull a New York Yankees, if you saw what happened in their 9th inning, then, yes, you would come on to Broads Media and my face would be fire red. I'd be spitting flames. So, I guess I'll wait to project. Anyway, we'll see how they do against this Blue Jays team up in Toronto. And you have some off days. So I'd imagine that's going to be massive for a team that just had 17-game stretch there that Rob Thompson has mentioned a lot prior to those 17 games even beginning. And then after this just happened. This is a nice week for them, though, to not hit a pause button, but to refresh. Some sort of rejuvenation. 2 off days this week. And a 2-gamer. All right, that's breathing room. Take advantage of it. Do something with it. You're not going to win every series. You'll drop some. This is one that sucks. And I'm not okay with it. I'm not happy with it. I don't like how south the offense went. Non-existent. Why is it so extreme with this team? Look what we just witnessed with all of your weapons stepping up at a huge clip. Now everyone's failing. Kyle Schwarber, bases loaded a couple times, struck out, then also popped up. Yo, Kyle, you're one of our top producers. You and Alec Boehm, we rely on you to knock in runs. Blast one. Can't come up empty, dude. That was a winnable ball game. I thought Ranger did well for what it is. 6 1/3 and only allowed 2 earned runs. He didn't look very happy when Rob went to grab the ball from him. And you would think the Twins taking out Sonny Gray, look at where his pitch count is. Can we make that look stupid? And I thought they would. Seriously. I don't know. That Garrett Stubbs liner to first base, and then you get doubled up. It was deflating, no doubt about it. You thought maybe you could steal one and come back and put us all on board again. There was a little deflation, but that's always the difference between, for the most part, a division-winning team and then a first wildcard team. When you are more of a legitimate Atlanta Braves, and I know I keep using them as the example, but they put together success nonstop. The Atlanta Braves win this series. The Phillies aren't on that level yet. They don't put teams away like that all the time. They have that hiccup a little too much, which is the separation on being that constant, on being the consistent. Can you get there with this core group? If this is who they are, is this just a part of who they are? Probably. Because a lot of your pieces you rely on are where they're going to be. Nick Castellanos is this. Bryce Harper is this. Kyle Schwarber is this. Trey Turner is this. Boehm and Stott, maybe we look in the future and they learn differently. JT Realmuto is this. I love Bob Wankel to death, and he covers the Phillies for Crossing Broad. He did throw out JT Realmuto's OPS and said fans aren't going to like this and this is going to get some pushback, but JT Realmuto has a 7.78 OPS right now, and his career is 7.87. It's not that bad. Well, I hate to break it to you. While the numbers might say what they say, JT Realmuto has been very disappointing this season. Extremely hot, extremely cold, and way too much cold. Freezing, frostbite, hypothermia. I don't really care what his numbers say and what this says on his stat sheet. JT Realmuto hasn't really lived up to it for me this season, okay? I really can't remember that much that he's done. That's just reality. There's not much that he's done. Doesn't feel like there's been that impact on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, he's got a cannon. Yes, you shouldn't steal on JT Realmuto. I don't know why runners decide to take the gamble and feel the need to potentially steal a bag because the percentages are not in your favor. Offensively speaking, no matter what his OPS is, it's a big dud. Can we tie the pieces together? Okay. Last year, it was a series against Toronto. That helped him. Difference is this year, he'll be with the team. But maybe I can just connect the dots. And there's something magic in the air that, all right, after that Blue Jays series, here's JT Realmuto. For whatever reason it is. For whatever reason it is. That's called blind faith. All right? So am I blaming the umps for the series loss? No, that's not the sole reason why. I'm absolutely looking at the clubhouse and looking at the team way more than anything the umpire did behind the plate. Two things can be true at the same time, though. That was fucking pathetic. It's unacceptable. It can't happen. At this professional level, when the stakes are that high, it's clutch spots, the game is on the line, a pitch is 5 feet inside, and you ring up Alec Boehm. There needs to be some sort of effect that happens from this. Like a cause and an effect. You have to have some sort of accountability, a punishment. You can't get away with murder out here. And that's what he did. He got away with murder. Well, they always do. I know it's a part of the game. It shouldn't be at this rate, and we'll have our robo-umps sometime soon. It is disgusting. But it's also disgusting to leave the bases loaded, to go 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. That's unacceptable. And you need to be held accountable. So as much as I'm aggravated with anyone behind the dish, I'm just as pissed off with the ones who were at the plate. I need you, Kyle. I'm a big-time supporter of you. I would have loved a grand slam there. I need you to produce there. Whether it was a single, I don't care what it was. You needed to produce. And it wasn't as if the strikeout that he had was some terrible AB. Worked the count, felt out a couple pitches, that was. And, you know, the last pitch was kind of gross. And I get it. I could see why that could fool somebody. You had two, though. Two. Needs to be more effective in that timely spot. So the umps aren't the reason why, but they played a role in the loss. So if your hitters can't get any hits, but your starter goes 5 innings and allows 3 earned runs, 5 and 3, you might not accept the pitching if that's Aaron Nola, but your hitters also sucked. It's not like Aaron Nola doesn't get any of the blame. Yo, dude, you went 5. You had 98 pitches in 5 innings. You walked too many guys. You allowed a couple earned runs in pretty pathetic ways. 0-2 counts, 0-2 doubles, 0-2 home run. I'm going to obliterate you. Doesn't mean I'm taking the offense off the hook. That's how I feel about what we saw from a horrendous strike zone point of view. Whatever. Sucks, man. It sucks. I was flying high Friday night, as everybody was. Dude, they were tearing the cover off the ball. I didn't think, poof, there goes your offense. It's just completely non-existent now. How did it flip-flop so quickly? How did we get right back to, I can't get a massive hit. My nuts aren't big enough. How? I can't sleep at night now when my nuts aren't big enough. No idea how he got here. I'm going to shut up. Anytime Hotline calls, you, me, let's react. Here we go.
Yo, what's up, bros? So the Phillies just lost this series 2 out of 3 to the Twins. I'm not upset about it, but, you know, I just still don't know, and you guys can call me crazy or whatever. I just still don't know if I could take necessarily the Phillies 100% seriously. Like, it's great. A 6-4 homestand is amazing. Like, it's very good. It's not, you know, bad whatsoever.
Real quick, it's not bad. It's not amazing, though. 7-3, absolutely. Anything better than 7-3, then I'm in a nice relaxation mode. 6-4 is a tad underwhelming when you're at home. You're 1 game better than 500. I need more. I don't leave satisfied. That's just me personally, but we'll let you continue.
But I just still want them to, like, not lose games that they're supposed to win. Like, they had no business losing this game against the Twins. Like, they didn't play fantastic, but the game was there for the taking. And I'm still very happy they're 11 games over, so they're doing a lot better than what they were doing, you know, when they lost the series to the Pirates. Like, that was just terrible. But, I mean, it's a 6-4 homestand. But I just want the Phillies just to kind of go on like almost like a bigger run than what they've been doing. I could be crazy. I don't know. But just let me know what you think. Have a good day, man. I love watching your videos.
Thanks. I do think it's a little crazy because I saw, what did I see? I saw something dating back to June, and I want to find it exactly. I know who tweeted it out. So I'm just going to scroll through. And it was more about how quiet the Phillies have done this from a league-wide standpoint. This is from someone who's not in our area. They're not a Philadelphia Phillies thing. Okay, so this was 2 days ago. So keep that in mind. It was 2 days ago. The Phillies have won 39 of their last 59 games, which is the second best record in baseball going back to the start of June. I feel like not enough people have noticed that. So think about that. 39-20 at that point of the tweet a few days back. 39-20. You're almost going 40-20 in 60 games. That's as big of a clip as you can find, right? I mean, sure, you can do better, but if that's what we're getting, we do need to acknowledge that. So I know in the right now it feels a certain type of way, and it's hard after a loss, and it's hard after 2 disappointing offensive nights back to back where, you sit there and it's all afternoon. I'm looking at the clock, it's 2:15. I'm looking at the clock, it's 2:45. It's 3:15. I haven't been given any sort of fun moments at all. Were they even playing? Was I even watching a baseball game? I didn't feel like I watched a baseball game at all. There wasn't a second or 2 or 3 or 4 where I felt that satisfaction of watching my Phillies baseball on a Sunday afternoon on a scorching hot day where I have my AC pumping. I'm with my dog kicking it. All right, it's just me and my one dog. My wife had some things to do, so I am free man at home, relaxing and being lazy as hell, watching some golf on my iPad. It was a beautiful Sunday, but I didn't get rewarded with what I needed. I didn't get that feeling of this is amazing. They do go 39-20, though, in a 59-game stretch. I get it. It doesn't have that power because, oh, man, they always do something to hurt us. I don't know how much more we can ask, though. And real quick before we get to our next call, I think you mentioned something about, I can't believe that this team is... Let me replay the beginning of that so I get it exactly correct.
Yo, what's up, bros? So the Phillies just lost this series 2 out of 3 to the Twins. I'm not upset about it, but, I just still don't know, and you guys can call me crazy or whatever. I just still don't know if I could take necessarily the Phillies 100% seriously.
Okay, so you can't take them 100% seriously. Yeah, there's always something holding us back. Absolutely. To what level of serious, though? Are you saying they're not as serious as the Braves? Another mention of that? Which I feel that reference comes up a lot because that's the standard. Even though they don't have a billion championships, I would replace myself with them. Yeah, they're not as serious as that. But are they more serious than the Giants? I believe so. Are they more serious than some of those teams fighting now for the third wild card? Yes. So are you looking for perfection? Are you looking for them to be the Dodgers of 100-plus wins every single year? The end goal is for sure. But when you go from one of the worst franchises ever under the Matt Klentak era to where we are now, there's a journey to get to that. And this vision was buying a bunch of bats and buying a bunch of these veterans and then hoping when they hit their late 20s and the early 30s, this is when they take off. So it depends on what you mean by I can't take them seriously. There's gaps and there's flaws that could be their kryptonite. Oh, yeah. Poor defense, walking guys, a bad bullpen explosion. There's a few that are on that list. If they click on that night, though, good luck. They can compete with the best of them. So they're somewhere in between that last wild card team that's really earning it and the top echelon. They're more serious than some of the bubble teams. And that's kind of how I see it. All right, what's next?
Hey, bros. You know what? I'm not so childish as to blame the umpire for our team losing here, but I will say that umpire was a bigger reason for why we lost this game than any umpire should ever be. I don't know how you can remain in the league and be that bad at calling balls and strikes. Stay at third base, for God's sake. But anyways, maybe this is going to be the overconfident part of me talking, but I'm not super worried about this series loss, to be honest with you. Phillies have been so hot lately, and you know what? These types of games happen. It doesn't make me happy by any means. I'm not sitting here happy, but I'm still confident, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know. Hopefully we can bounce back from this. I'm still excited for the season. I think the Phillies are hot. Trey Turner's heating up. So I think we got something good going on here. What do you think, bros?
Okay, I lean closer to you than I do our first caller in regards to any sort of panic button. He seemed a little bit more nervous than the second caller did, and I got you. Yeah, when you win as much as you do, and then you have oh man, that sucks series against Minnesota. I'm not happy. I can't destroy them, though. It's about what comes next. So I'm almost holding off. If this falls into losing 2 straight against Toronto, having a horrendous series against the Washington Nationals, then, dude, of course, we'll change the narrative and we'll be upset, right? But what if they take 2 against Toronto? What if they win a series against the Nationals? And then we're looking at another window of excellence. Then it is what it is. Ew, I hate that phrase, Ben Simmons. It's disgusting. But I lean closer to you. I don't hate that mindset at all. Amadeo, what's on his mind?
Alex McKay needs to be fired after that game. There is no excuse for how terrible that strike zone was. Alec Bowman, Bryce Harper, holy shit. That was just embarrassing. But, yeah, it does leave a terrible taste in your mouth losing the final 2 games of this series after, you completely blew them out on Friday. Yeah, you ran into 2 hot pitchers. That could be one of the reasons why. But at the end of the day, your offense still has to keep going, and sadly, it got shut down. Kyle Schwarber had 2 chances today with bases loaded. He struck out and popped up, which needs to be way better. And 6-4 on the homestand. Yeah, with the way it ended, it does leave a sour taste in your mouth. I'm definitely frustrated after this series, but right now I want to try to look into the grand scheme of what the homestand was and the way the offense actually did explode for, I would say, at least 85% of this homestand. And I want to, look more positively into that, and hopefully the offense can just continue to go on that. And maybe these 2 games, you just ran into 2 hot pitchers, and you look at it as a blip on the radar.
I get that. I get that. That's a good way to wrap things up because I see it in a very similar light. Not yet, at least. I'm not there yet where I'm concerned. Could it bleed into that depending on what happens in Toronto? Possibly. Grand scheme of things, offense is showing way more lethal power than anything we've seen all season long. And I don't think you're just going to fall and revert right back to hideousness. They were so scorching. I don't think the bats are just dead. I don't. It's starting to become more of the reality than it is that was just random and a random homestand of greatness. I think that greatness is why we've been hating this team for underachieving as much, because they never lived up to the hype. And the reason why we had the hype as high as we did is because they do have it in them. Let's see what happens in Toronto. You get some rest involved. Could go very, very, very well for them if they push the right buttons throughout this week. We'll see what they do. Thank you all so much for kicking it with me. I love you. You're fantastic people. We'll be talking very soon. I'll see you on the next one.